Okay, so I will. So, welcome to the session about add-ons. I will introduce myself. My name is Fabrice Nordmann. As you can hear, I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm not a loudspeaker either. So I'll try. I started using FileMaker in the previous millennium, and when I was working as a assistant director, which is basically the person on a film shoot that organized the whole shoot, the huge project management task. It's funny, by the way, that every developer with FileMaker starts introducing himself with what version of what year he started using FileMaker. That's a bit like all veterans. And I founded the company One More Thing 14 years ago. We're a platinum partner in France and Belgium, and we're mostly known on this continent for our brand fmcloud.fm, which is operating as a hosting service worldwide. Same company. I will now tell a little bit about what we are doing, not as an advertisement, but just to introduce that session. Of course, we do FileMaker consulting, hosting, as you know. We do a bit of Tableau, but a lot of Tableau. We have a vertical solution for Apple service providers worldwide also. Another vertical thing for the French auction market. And we do developer tools. Some of you might know some. This is the icon of our most popular clip manager. No, it's not a clip manager. It's one more clip, by the way. Sorry, cool. And on top of that, that was the point, we do FileMaker add-ons. And at the end of this session, if we have time, I will talk about an initiative we have called Add-on Online to promote the use of add-ons. I strongly believe in this. So, what are add-ons? In the country where I live, which is Belgium, there's a very famous painter, Magritte. You might know this painting. This presents a pipe. Text underneath says "Ceci n'est pas une pipe," which translates as "This is not a pipe," right? The presentation of something is not necessarily the thing. Not the thing. Might draw a profit, for example, without people needing to interpret it as being profit. They're different. So with Claris, they have invented a FileMaker-ish version of that. And ceci n'est pas un plugin. So the designer team is a bit late, so there's still no icon for the add-on file. So if you see this icon, it can mean or a plugin or an add-on, but these are two completely different things. And hence this slide. So an add-on is not a plugin. So let's first remember what a plugin is. A plugin is basically a library that adds feature FileMaker Pro. There's also Claris Pro. It tells you when I wrote this slide. But anyway, or FileMaker Server, and it adds to FileMaker some calculation functions or script steps, or it can modify the UI FileMaker application. But basically, it's an application. It means it runs, it's executed, it runs in the process, the FileMaker together with the FileMaker process. And it means the code of a plugin is compiled and it's executed. It's a real software. It raises a lot of concerns about security, about how it works in combination with FileMaker itself. And of course, it needs to be there when you run it. You need to have the plugin installed on each of the client that is going to execute the plugin function. But there are file extensions of those plugins. FM plugin on a Mac, FMX64 on Windows, and FMX on Linux. Some examples, most popular ones: MPS, Base Elements, XM Charts, Bootbox, Scriptmaster. I mean, I'm sure you know at least some of them. An add-on is a completely different thing. So I'm really insisting on this because even on some websites of some fellow developers or on the marketplace, sometimes you use add-on as a generic term, you can't make the difference between a plugin and an add-on. But these are really completely different things. So an add-on is just a simple package, with mostly XML and JSON files, and they allow you to add native objects, and objects, not layout objects only, but native things that FileMaker can already handle. Okay? So everything you can do with an add-on, you can do with just FileMaker Pro by adding scripts and layout objects and layouts and everything, right? There is no magic in an add-on like there is with a plugin, knowing C++ and languages that you don't need to know if you just want to make an add-on. Right? An add-on supports almost everything. So because of that, of course, you need the add-on to be on your computer, on the computer, just on when you implement the add-on. But you don't need it at runtime, because it basically just brings some objects within the FMP12 file. Then you just don't need the add-on anymore. Okay. So it can contain almost anything FileMaker supports, and we are going to go show you a list just after. An add-on is a bunch of files that can be grouped in a folder, and you can see it also in the form of this FM add-on extension, which again has this plugin icon, right? The second one, the latter, is just a XAR compression of the format, right? It's just the same. So if you double-click the FM add-on, basically it will open FileMaker Pro, and FileMaker Pro will just uncompress and XAR this archive and store some files, right? I'm going, of course, to share the slides. I just added the path where you can find this files. And note that there are built-in add-ons with FileMaker Pro, and I also give you the path to these. The add-ons support basically everything. Everything you can do within the FileMaker file, it's supported, which means everything regarding layouts, everything regarding value list, tables, fields, data sources, which is not known usually, but it's very powerful. Add a data source directly. Scripts, of course, custom functions, everything. And including, if you look at the last item, data. So data can be part of the add-on. So perfectly possible. Now, let's imagine an add-on that just looks up a postcode, a zip code. We're in the States. A zip code and gives you the corresponding town. You can embed all the data you want in an add-on. Okay. What it doesn't support is everything regarding security, accounts and privileges, the file options. You cannot force the file to change its options like an add-on. All this is fortunate. It's for a good reason. The file locals, so if your file is configured to use the American date format, then that's not going to be part of the add. And of course, the app preferences. So I'm just thinking now also file options. This extends to the default unit or the grid on the layout. It's not only the options that you can find in the file option menu. Everything stored at the file level. So, is there any question so far? No? I'll show some examples. This is usually where it should fail, but I'll try. Okay, so I've prepared some examples of different types of add-on, just to give you an idea of what can be done. And then, okay, first, I'll implement an add-on which is built in. So you have FileMaker Pro, they're already there. So I go to layout mode, go to this add-on panel, and from there, I'm going to click the plus. Here is my add-on library. I want to find a Kanban one, which is one of the default ones. Select it and click choose. Be careful, sometimes the enter key does not insert the correct add-on. So you have to use the mouse. That's the only time in your life where you should use the mouse. So what happens there is, if you never inserted an add-on, you see there is an icon here representing this add-on, and already in the file there are now some scripts, layouts, maybe custom functions. Just by adding the add-on to the file, all this was inserted, right? And some add-ons, most of them, they come with a draggable object, right? In fact, they don't have to. I could perfectly share my custom function library by just giving you an add-on, and it wouldn't require a draggable object. You can always dream about some function library and not sharing it. No, just and then this add-on comes with a draggable object, meaning I can take this and drag it onto my layout. And here it goes. So this, as you can see, it's mostly a web viewer, and also I can see I have also a native button here. So I go back to browse mode, and boom, I have a Kanban. Okay, and the Kanban is already functional. Use it, click there. It opens a native FileMaker window, card window. I can change the color, for instance, and boom. Okay, so all this just dragging one object. This specific add-on is very well designed. If you go to the settings, you can manage to match the data sources, your existing fields, and so on. This is especially well designed. I like it very much. You can select the fields. I wrote a few notes here just to remember. So, the built-in add-ons, they are web viewer based, and there are two sections of the native add-ons. Right? But most of them are web viewer based. But I would like you to remember that not all add-ons need to have JavaScript. It's a good example of how you can implement a complex feature to your solution without the hassle of developing it. But remember, you don't have to. I mean, add-ons can be very handy without these advanced JavaScript features. I'll show you more examples. The language implementation add-on. An add-on can be multilingual. How many people here are working abroad or with different languages? Also, oh, yeah, okay. So because I mentioned it several times. So when you drag the add-on, what version is implemented? Actually, not when you drag it, when you add it to your file. Depends on the region setting of your operating system, not the language, which is unexpected, but you've got to be aware of it. And some add-ons, including this one, they are over-translated, which means, for instance, if I was using this on, let's say, French system, the colors would not work because the value list that comes with the add-on, which is a color thing, is also translated French. But the code, the JavaScript code does not support the translation, so just the colors don't work. Okay? So, yeah. So you've got to pay attention to sometimes in foreign systems, you just think the add-ons don't work. In fact, they do. Okay. Next example, complex web viewer integration by a third party. So I will now implement another FM planner from IU data. And this one is a little bit complex, so you see it takes time because it's bringing a lot of stuff into the file, and I'm just going to drag it. Well, so they made a special version for this demo, so I will window and take a little time to load. Yeah, so this is a planner. You have multiple calendars. Here there are presentation in timeline, like resources. For instance, I need glasses on, sorry. So I'll add an event here. No, in France, food is important, so let's plan a big breakfast. And that's it, and the lunch. Okay, and of course I can move it to this guy, and I have a day view, I have a timeline view, I have the week view. Oh, why is breakfast? Month's view, etc. And this is all in your FileMaker solution, so it's really great. And there are multiple features like filter or anything. You don't have to develop anything; it's there. So, next example. This is an add-on I made to solve the problem of the dependency to operating system or Adobe plugin when viewing PDFs, because it always breaks every time you have a new version. So, and plus the Windows version is so ugly, there are so many controls that you can hardly see the PDF. So, I will again add an add-on. This is PDF Viewer. Actually, the name should be changed because now it handles a lot of data types, not only PDF. And If I go to browser mode, then I have a documentation, and then I just need to take my container, for instance, go to browse mode, and maybe it would work better if I inserted something. So let's do some presentation inception here. I'm adding the PDF of this very presentation, and that's it. I have the PDF here. Of course, I can resize, and it's just a PDF. It's nothing. It's a web viewer. It's nothing more. I give you a few other examples. I can, for instance, add a SVG. Isn't it frustrating that SVG cannot be displayed from a container? So you can do that. Insert a JSON. So this JSON is a compact one like that, and just displays it nicely. Or you can insert a video, for instance. This one. A view. And I can also ask it. I have another parameter here. I can add some controls, about how it should display the media. That's mine. Okay. Next, this is a simple UI improvement, again by IU data. So it's again using a web viewer. I'll go to switch. I think it's really nice. Look, so I have number of fields here, and I'm just going to drag this here. I know how to configure it, so there are multiple parameters, but yeah, here's the list. I don't know why it's not covered. I disabled MBS just the wrong day. Anyway, I'll put this. I'll send it to this field, and oh, sorry, this one commented out.
It's all commented out.
Excuse me?
It's all commented out.
Oh, completely.
Right at the top, yeah.
Oh, bad. This one I rehearsed. Let me just 1 minute. Which field is missing? Oh. Yeah, much better. You see, it's a Boolean. It's very easy to implement. So it's better than a native checkbox or something. And well, they did it in a nice way. You can use the color, the size, the value, of course. It doesn't have to be 0 or 1. Anyway. You have a question?
If you edit the number field 1, is that switch also going to reflect that, or is it just a click? If you manually change the 0 to the 1, will that switch also toggle?
Good question. I think, yeah, this instance is reading all the time. But it's a very good question. We'll go into detail later on when we come to how to make an add-on. I'll show you with the rating. So, pass data input. Yeah, this is, okay. Now, you've seen web viewer stuff. And I insist, add-ons don't have to use web viewers. Here is just an add-on. of the first I made, actually. Aim is to make date input easy, and this, a date field, you always have to enter a perfect date in browse mode, and if you don't, you have a message which is not nice, and you cannot control that because even before the auto enters comes in, so it's a little bit. So I just added this add-on, of course, and now I can. I can say, let's see. Sorry. So this would be. Oh, I'm still not used to the American format. Sorry. No. So let's pick 05 or 07, for instance. That would be the 7th of May, right? I don't have to. I can type only numbers, or I can type many different ways. For instance, let's say we are in February the 7th. What if I type just 15? Say interprets it at the 15th of the current month. Or maybe I can do like in find mode, this is today. Or this is next week. And it makes it very easy, and it just costs nothing. It's just the same date field as that you use. So this example, these are all the conversion it does. But of course, it's very. This is an example that you drag, but you can apply it to any field like here. So of course, the past date input, just that, and now my field that was already on my layout just works the same. You don't have to use the object that comes with the add-on. So once you have this in your interface, you just don't want to present the native thing to your customers. You want this thing. So much more efficient when it comes to dates. There's no magic. Again, it's only pure FileMaker, right? It's script, not even a function, I think. And then some more examples with developer tools. I really need to hurry. Yeah, really. I will skip that because otherwise, yeah, sorry. I can give you more examples, but I really need to go back to the presentation and show you how to make that. So, yeah, just so the next example, I'm going to show another one, but the idea is that I'm going to show you the development file. So yeah, it's called rating. So on a level of 1 to 5, how enthusiastic are you with the session so far? So basically, it has a control, right? That this is a field, simple field, and you don't have to display the field, of course. And yeah, this was your question earlier. If I type this, of course, I have possibility to. And this is done by a trigger on object C and it's redraw. Right? What's also interesting with that, with this example, is I will match it. I will match. I will add 2 number fields to my layout. Okay, and I will go to the configuration panel of that. And this one is working with field number. Okay. Okay. And I will drag another instance of that add-on, right? And this will be number field 2. And I have here to tell it it's working with field 2. Okay. And so you see they're working on 2 different fields, 2 different values. Okay. And you'll see why this is interesting just in a moment. Going back to the presentation. And we're going to the how to make add-ons. Okay, so to make add-ons, you have to have FileMaker Pro. You open a file, and basically you have to remember that everything you add to this file will be in the add-on. There is unfortunately no way to have utilities that you don't want to have in the add-on in the end. So everything in the add-on in your development file will be in the add-on, with one exception, which is the layout. So the main layout, not all layouts. Of course, you can have it. I will come to that very soon. So first, we need to prepare the file. So I will explore my dev file. So this is the file that I would use to make this add-on. Right? So, of course, there is all the objects, the logic, and everything, and the file name is going to, or actually it's the window name is going to be the name of the add-on, the end. But if you don't want to have a script to rename the window, because that would not make sense in the resulting add-on, and because you cannot exclude code from the add-on, then name your file as you want the add-on to be named. Okay. The file options are also used, like for instance, the icon is going to be the icon in the result. Then I go here, and then we go to this. Come to the step, the most important step, important step. Sorry, which is the layout and the draggable object. So I'm very late. I'm going to. I'm not going to go into details, but your add-on can contain multiple layouts, layout folders, and everything, and scripts and so on. Okay, but the interface, what is going to be shown, displayed to the user in the end, depends on this layout. You see, it has a very specific name. Okay, this is a constant name. Just at the end, the language. Okay, so you have multiple languages within the same file, and the resulting add-on, as I said earlier, when you add it to another file, will pick its values depending on the name of that layer. So this is constant, okay? And you have to have the English version. No, it's not that. You don't have to have the English version, but if you don't have all other versions, of course the fallback will be the English version. Then, if you look at the objects, the object can be given names, and in the names, actually, it's not only the layout object, everything can be given a name. Same with everything like layout within script parameters, for instance. You can give it this constant. Okay, so this is the object name, as you would expect, and this is going to be replaced by a UID every time you drag the add-on onto your layout. So it's the instance of the add-on. Do you remember I dragged it 2 times, my rating add-on, okay? But it has different UUIDs. And that's why, if we look at this one, look, I'm picking up the first star, okay? And it has this constant followed by a number, okay? And if I look at the script parameter, for instance, so I'm just sending the UID of the instance. So what the script is going to do is, oh yeah, you're talking about this instance of the add-on. So I'm going to modify that script, right? Of course, there's a whole logic in the object and the script to do this, but it allows you to have multiple instances just by adding this constant. Okay? I will share this file. This file is probably it's not important add-on, but it's the way to use UIDs is very interesting, I think. Okay. Then the draggable object. This is really what is going to be dragged when the user drags the add-on. And this, again, is very important to understand. It has to be a group. Even if you have a single object, single button, won't work. You have to group it. Okay, even sub-button, select the button, group it with itself. Actually, you have to group it with a second object, then select the other object and delete it from the group. And that will make the object draggable. And by the way, all the other information on that specific layout, named this way, which are not the draggable object, they're not going to be part of the add-on. You could add here some commands, or there is another bunch of things you can do when you want to add relationships to add-on. Not going into this because it's more complex, but basically this layout is not going to be used as a layout. It's used as a command set for how to make the add-on, right? Okay, and then the add-on is ready. So from another file, because you don't want to have a script that is useless in your add-on, so from another file, which I call make add-on, I can recreate very easily. It just contains one step. And you're going to use this script step, save copy as an add-on package. And here is the trick thing. I'm going to have to select the window name. Okay. And run. And that's it. I have a new add-on here. Okay. So it's really where I told you it would be. And as you can see now, we've got to see what the files are. So the first thing I do is I remove the language files. I keep only the English version. So you have some XML files. Of course, if you have a real reason to have localized languages, feel free. Not the English. And
why do you remove the other language files?
Because I don't want to edit all of them. They're basically going to be copies. So unless you really want, to translate your buttons or things like that, you just remove them. And it will all fall back. So now, at least now I have something very, it's much more readable. So the main file here, no, the two main files are the XML files. I have the English, which is going to be a dictionary or a constant. You don't have to edit this. Usually you did it with the layout. But then you have the template. Template.xml is the file that contains everything, right? The stripes, the layouts, the scripts, and so on. So if you find issues, you might want to tweak this file. Actually, currently in the current version, there is a very annoying issue that duplicates items. I would have shown how to get rid of this problem, but frankly, it's going to be solved very soon, and you've got to go to that file, edit it. The other files are, of course, the icon, the preview image on the right, and the file described the add-on, right? It's pretty easy to understand. And then going back to presentation. This, yeah. Okay, so some limitations. So there's no clean integration into the destination layout, especially regarding themes. That's it's very difficult to make an add-on that is going to integrate very well whatever the destination layout theme is. So you've got to be very modest with the styles and so on. I would love a feature that would have matching style names and so on. But anyway, so there's no update mechanism except if you're using web viewers that use files that you could download to a container. But there's no strict. I mean, your script, your fields, and so on, as you know, they can't be updated. There's no licensing mechanism. You cannot protect some parts of the code. It's difficult to make it easy to understand. You want the add-on to be functional, but also self-explanatory. And that's not so easy because you have only one. Okay, especially one of them I didn't have the time to show you. I can show you at the booth, by the way, or later. Is the tool to do logging, for event logging for developers. It's very, very powerful, but you've got to train it a bit, you've got to learn how to use it. And it's difficult to have the add-on both the functional way and the samples and the documentation. This is a little bit tricky. And well, multilingual, I mentioned it already. Now a word about security and quality. An add-on will not execute code per se, but still it will, for instance, load web viewers, will execute scripts, so it will execute FileMaker code, and so on. So for instance, I'm just an idea I'm giving you. Distribute an add-on with a JavaScript, with a web viewer that just does a SQL, just does a callback script and so on, just does a SQL query on your database and posts it anywhere in Russia. Okay. This is going to be executed the moment you go to browse mode, right? So security is an issue. Like anything you implement and you take the time to check. So you're not going to review all the code that you're implement. No, nobody does this. And if you say you pretend you do, you don't. So the trust is the key for adoption of add-ons. It's of course a very nice way to exchange things, to distribute ideas, but you've got to be, it's not like custom functions, for instance. Custom functions, they're limited. They don't have, side effects. They can't post data and so. Add-ons they can. So trust is key to adoption. This is why we have this add-on OLAM project. One of the reasons why is the idea of distributing add-ons that were reviewed by, that we're sure they're not harming, and also that integrate nicely in a solution. For instance, that they don't break the way you interact with your users. For instance, if let's say you decided that all your solution had a no dialogue free, but instead you show some, popovers with messages, or you do it, or card windows. You do it differently than the native custom dialogue. Suddenly you want to add an add-on, and this one displays dialogues. This is ugly. Not what you want. So with this, we think can improve that, make add-ons like really integrate better way to your solution, but mostly about security being trustworthy. But for now, add-on OLAM is just a section on our One More Thing store. Also, it helps installing directly, so people can buy or free, some are paid. It installs directly to your FileMaker. It's a very smooth process, but most of all, trust is the key. So if you're interested, contact me. I'm going to mention some resources for this session. So there's the Claris Marketplace. It has an add-on section. Well, I don't have time to show it, but you can find some add-ons there. There are 2 excellent blog posts by Jeremy Brown about FileMaker add-on making. I didn't go to the complexity of relationships, but an add-on can be plugged with a relationship to your current table. He explains this very well. He did a very, very nice job, and I don't know out of which documentation, by the way. I would like to mention Richard Carlton Consulting, and we have the developer here who have an excellent initiative called Wolfpack Add-on Manager, which is downloadable, plus you just sending your email to them and be spammed. But apart from that, it's a collection. It's beautiful. Do I have time to show it? Let's take the time to show it. Wolfpack. And then you need the sound too. Okay, it's just a very nice collection of add-ons, and also they do the installation for you. It's great. I mean, I think it's limited. Yeah, you have only this add-on. You cannot add.
You can add them if you click on the wolf in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, but you're not adding like remotely. It's
No.
not. It doesn't
no,
download from your website or.
Either have to download a new version or
Yeah,
you just
okay.
want to share someone too.
Yeah, but it's really nice. And yeah, and I don't know them. I already mentioned it. So I think we're come to the end of that. If you have questions first.
I've noticed if you have a add-on and you add that add-on, you install that add-on, get it on the file, and then you try to package it on a second file as an add-on, you get some really strange behavior.
Yes.
Is there a way around that?
No, you still got lots of problems, and I don't think they will be solved soon. Yeah, there's the. No, I think it's not going to be mentioned.
You said there was no easy way to update add-ons, so if we make some changes in the add-on file, we have to delete everything the file is going to.
That's the issue. So if you really want to update an add-on, for instance, the PDF viewer, I released several versions of it. But unfortunately, you have to uninstall the add-on, which deletes all the instances also and re-implement it. So it's a pain.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if I just need to update the JavaScript, just to add some features, actually I could. It's not the case with this one. I'm lazy, but I could have a script that would just download the new JavaScript, right? But of course, this is a way to add features, of course, to add the model, improve it. But yes.
So what happens if, for example, my add-on has a custom function and there's already a custom function of the same name in the file?
It adds it with the different name, but I read once. Maybe I was drunk. I don't know. I found once on the web a blog post saying that someone found a way to update the custom function, not retrieve it. You find it.
In your star demo, you're referencing the add-on ID so you can add them. You talk more about that, how you use the ID so that it knows the difference of it. That's been such a challenge for me, trying to put the second one on and have it work.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So no, actually, the idea is pretty simple. It's every time you use this constant in your add-on, it will be substituted anywhere in the script, in the variable name. I think.
So do you reference or encode something for that ID so that you can like keep them separate from each other?
No, okay. I'm going to start with a fresh file, so it's very. I tried to make it very understandable. Maybe it's not a good. I go to. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and I'll open this one. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of everything. Spacing that for records. And I have I just have an object, any object. And I'm going to give it a name. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Sorry. Rating. Just yeah. That's it. Different thing. So I'm going to name that object one, and then my constant. Okay. This is my constant. I can remove that. Used by the logic of the other thing. Okay, and this, when I'm going to produce the add-on, is going to be substituted. Well, when I drag the add-on, this is the moment where it happens. When I drag the add-ons, all instances of that are going to be substituted. So I was wrong. It's not in script, on layout. Right? It's going to be substituted by a UUID. But if you have multiple instances of the same UUID, you'll get the same instance number, right? Instead UID. Okay? And that's by referencing this in your scripts. I push the parameter. Sorry, I think
Do you embed the UUID in every object, whether you reference it in the script or not?
actually I would advise you to do it.
Okay.
And the reason is, I think it's a little bit bogus that when you drag multiple instances, even with named objects, it will give the same name. So you will end up with multiple objects having the same name, which is not causing any problem, but I don't like that. Really. So, yeah, I would advise you to do it. I'd share, frankly,
If the star one's on your website, I'll go download it and look at it, because I'm really intrigued by that.
but the rating one, I'm going to share it with you, the development file, because it's pretty interesting how the parameter is passed and interpreted by the script. So I'll share this one. And yeah.
Am I right in assuming that this is, what you've shown us today only works with a file that can provide backend both in the same file? That if you have a data separation situation where the backend is in one file, you can put the add-on into one or the other, but you can't add components to both files?
And then you, I'm not really understanding you. I mean, should install it in both files maybe, or?
That's what I'm wondering is if your add-on contains both table and some data, also some UI,
sorry.
and you use
Yeah.
the data separation, so in your
No, indeed, every data or table it creates is going to be with the same file where you implement things.
there isn't a way to build an add-on that deployed to a data separated suite of files.
It sounds like you would deploy it to the data file and then reference it from the UI file. So like call scripts or.
Get your schema in the data file.
Yeah, no, but there's no just a click and drag way to do this. So add-on alarm.com. They just library if you have questions. I don't know when exactly you should boom it.
So once you've pulled in an add-on, it can be, is it possible that it can just be edited from there and like customized? Like it's not static.
No, because it's just implementing
So
things.
it's sort of like
and-
bringing in some starting code and then you could
Exactly.
build from there. Oh, okay.
Yes, but remember, if you uninstall the add-on, all this will go.
Ah, right. Okay.
So there's a point of fragility.